You know, I thought we got past large mainstream media sources and journalists and stuff like that actually coming after gamers. Usually that seems to have been reserved to gaming journalists nowadays, who are, you would think, somebody who likes to game, play games, and report on them, but they're too busy telling gamers how bad they are and how racist and sexist and misogynistic they are because they like Bayonetta or something. But no, I thought we were done, but NBC, they have decided otherwise, because this is going to be great. Did you know that the rise of the alt-right neo-Nazi infestation of about 2,000 people? Yeah, that was, think about as much as they could muster at that Charleston protest or whatnot. Anyway, is all thanks to gamers. Dun dun dun!
Before white supremacists, neo-Nazis, and white nationalists marched in Charlottesville, Virginia in August, they were organizing behind a computer screen. And a lot of that organizing happened through a messaging service called Discord, which was originally created to connect video game players to one another. This is just the latest in the long-running shared history between the gaming community and the alt-right.
Well, that was a nice touch, throwing the Clans member hat into the Discord style of things to just swing it on home. Gamers and the alt-right, one and the same. Nah, but seriously, sitting there throwing somebody playing whatever game he was playing, Call of Duty or something, Battlefield, whatever, and then saying that because these people are using Discord somehow, gamers have given to the rise of the alt-right. But let's see if you've got some decent arguments in there other than, somebody plays video games. Because, let's face it, video games is now one of the most expensive, one of the most lucrative entertainment medium out there. It's huge nowadays. And, so just about everybody plays some sort of, a lot of people play some game or two somewhere nowadays. But, let's see what you got, shall we? That's right, connecting the dots. The alt-right and gamers. Let's do this.
Gaming culture has always been racist, it's always been sexist, but the internet has sort of allowed us to just sort of see what has always been there.
Can we get a citation here? I mean, seriously. I know you all keep throwing it out there. Gaming has always been sexist, it's always been misogynistic, it's always been this, it's always been that, but it's not. It never has been. It doesn't matter who's really developing the game, to be honest, as long as they have the talent to do it. And then people of all walks and colors play games. Just because you're not seeing a huge number of this particular type of person doesn't necessarily mean they're not playing games. And then to sit there and run the argument of, there's no women protagonists and all this other stuff. There are plenty out there. There have been. I mean, heck, the one that all the gaming journalists like to hark back at real quick when they're listing off misogynistic games is Bayonetta. Bayonetta was created and developed and designed, the character herself, by a woman, not a man. Which is where your argument goes towards, just because men are creating it. A freaking woman did that one. Let's go on, see what else you got.
Vasan is a PhD candidate studying how sexism seeded in gaming is replicated in the real world.
Yeah, it's totally replicated in the real world, about as much as when I go on a killing spree in Grand Theft Auto or something, or Skyrim, or Fallout, or whatever it is. It translates into the real world of me going out and robbing banks and shooting mini nukes at people and summoning dragons and stuff like that, because that's just a normal everyday thing for us gamers. We take what we get from a fictional world, a world of make-believe, and we go out and replicate it into the real world because that's what we do. And then when things really get bad, we hit the reset button, reload our save, and then it's as if I never went on that killing spree. I never went and robbed that bank or summoned those demons just for the hell of it. That's generally how we handle it, and you don't really probably ever remember it because we always hit the real life reset button, so you never remember it, but we do. You know, it's complicated, you know, real life and video games and stuff. Really complicated.
Her study is based on Gamergate, a movement that began with intimidating and harassing female video game journalists under the guise of fairness in video game journalism. The harassment quickly gained traction. It helped catalyze the alt-right movement, which secured power and prominence during the 2016 election cycle.
Actually, Gamergate was a movement about ethics in gaming journalism. I don't know how many times everybody who was involved with the Gamergate, the actual pro Gamergate side, has to tell you people that. But you, on the other hand, threw it as if it was under the guise of harassing women and getting rid of them in video games, when that has never been the case. You know, when it comes to playing video games, unless you've got that one person who rage quits every 2 seconds if he doesn't win, generally it's an inviting space for just about anybody who's willing to learn and take the time to sit down and actually learn. No, somebody's not going to waste their time on somebody who doesn't actually want to learn. But if somebody's genuinely comes in and play said game, whether it's card games, video games, board games, tabletop games, whatever, people generally will sit down and teach them how to do it, and then they'll enjoy themselves with everybody else. And the same thing goes with whether they're male, female, black, white, Asian, brown, purple, blue, the one-eyed, one-horned purple people eater, whatever. You know, nobody really gives two shits what they are. If they're wanting to come and play, they generally let them play. And that is what Gamergate was about, the ethics in gaming journalism, from one thing that broke the camel's back and sparked the discussion of, hey, you know, these journalists suck. They need some ethical standards. We're seeing it everywhere. Something needs to give. Which, you know, then comes into fruition when you've got Gamers Are Dead from all the major outlets on the exact same day at about the same time. That, you know, you found out that, yeah, they really are, you know, pretty unethical, because not only are they attacking gamers all the dang time, but they have unethical practices on how they do stuff. I mean, heck, the one thing that sparked it was a chick who was sleeping with about 5 different journalists for favorable words towards her game. And that's what sparked the discussion altogether, but because it was a chick who was sleeping with these journalists for, you know, favorable stuff towards her games and things, suddenly we're attacking all of women. No, we were talking about the journalists and their unethical practices. But what I really love are these tweets. I don't know if anybody really else notices, but I followed Gamergate a lot when it happened. I wasn't active on YouTube or anything, so I wasn't really doing anything about it. Although I probably should have, but I followed it, and I was following all the right people and keeping an eye on stuff. Those tweets, if I remember correctly, were created from one account named Howard or Howie or something like that. It was some random person who didn't really have a thing, and suddenly appeared out of nowhere during the whole Brianna Wu and Anita screaming, "Oh my god, I'm getting so harassed," and everything, which, by the way, if you don't know, the FBI actually has released, through the Freedom of Information Act, all the files on Gamergate, and has found out that Gamergate did nothing wrong. Anyway, but they were claiming that they were being harassed by Gamergaters and all this other stuff, and they're threatening to rape them and kill them and hunt them down, and they were fearing for their lives at this point, supposedly. But they all seem to come from the same account. And it's also somebody who never really used any pro or anti-Gamergate hashtags either, just tweeting at them, you know, Brianna Wu and Anita, going how they were going to rape them with a pole and stuff like that, and then kill them and kill their families and all that good stuff. And, the account would apparently do this, and every time it would so happen that both of them apparently would be looking at their Twitter feed at that exact moment to screen grab this within minutes of them being posted. Which is also why NBC here has doctored these tweets so you can't see who actually sent them and if they actually used any, what their face is or anything like that. They just threw that hashtag Gamergate above it and then quoted the screen grab. But, it led many to believe that maybe this Howard person, this Howie, whoever he was a sock puppet account created by one, if not both of them, to periodically tweet really bad things at themselves. So they can go, oh, look, right here. This is what we're talking about. This guy right here. And even if it wasn't, it was still one guy. One person. One person isn't the whole. 10 people aren't the whole. To sit there and label everybody as that particular thing, was just disingenuous at best. But, that's why they're throwing these up here. And everything's covered up because it all came from, the same freaking person. And it would kind of throw a big hole if they didn't have other people's doing that, because, to be honest, nobody could really provide any other proof other than the screen grabs that they would reshare, because at the time, if I remember correctly, the account would apparently tweet, and then shortly thereafter delete said tweet before anybody had a chance to really archive this stuff or anything. And, so you couldn't go back and look for it, but you would see the screenshots of it. Anyway, it is what it is. Take what you want from that. let's get into this. This video is about 3 and so minutes long, and my video might be considerably longer if I talk at this length about it.
When you were studying Gamergate and you were really looking at the techniques that they use, it's impossible not to see the same techniques being used by Trump supporters.
Oh, you're right. The Great Meme War of 2016. Yes, I'm a veteran of that war, as well as many others. If you didn't hear about it, where the heck have you been? 2016, the election was going on. Trump versus Hillary. And you know what was on the rise? Memes. Memes were everywhere. They took Pepe and they threw him everywhere. And if they found out they didn't like something, oh my gosh, the explosion of memes that would go in that other direction would be, well, huge. I don't have a better word for it. But, nah, seriously, it was the Great Meme War of 2016. Memes were going everywhere. Everybody was fighting with memes. And Hillary, and the only reason this was such a big thing is because the Hillary side and everything was declaring things like Pepe the Frog a hate symbol and a Nazi symbol and all this other stuff, because there was 12 or so memes where somebody actually took it and, would put Pepe and a Nazi uniform and say, write Hitler did nothing wrong and stuff like that on it. And there was 12 or so floating about out there at the time, and they found an account that had posted 12 or 15 of them. And that's all he had on the account. And oh my gosh, this is a hate symbol. This is a national hate symbol. This is racism to the core, when it was a Pepe meme. Pepe has been around for 10 years, I think now, 9, 8, 7, a long time. Pepe has been around, as well as most other memes. And because they hated him so much, people who were Trump supporters who knew how to set up a meme and create them, well, they memed them practically to death at that point. That's why the ACLU, or whoever it is, the Southern Poverty Law Center, I can't even think of their name, declared Pepe a hate symbol, along with Kekistan and its flag, which, if you don't know what any of that stuff is, I suggest you go look it up, because this is what the Great Meme War brought up, was Kekistan, which was a joke towards normies, and you'll just have to go look it up. But yeah, the Great Meme War, Gamergates, or Gamergaters, also used memes. Why? Because memes are a great form of expression. You can throw things up in a picture and get more out of it sometimes than you can in 140 characters. And when a lot of this stuff was going on Twitter or other forums, you know, when you're on the Twitter side, memes were just a much easier way to convey, you know, your feelings, how you felt at that time, and so forth, and things like that. So yeah, that we used memes, and then, you know, they used memes, but that didn't give rise to no alt-right. I'm still looking for how gamers equal alt-right. Still looking for that. Still waiting.
According to Vossen, the gamers and the alt-right share common ground.
As people who are marginalized are fighting for equality, those who've traditionally had privilege, you know, especially white men, feel that they are being oppressed by these people who are trying to just be treated as equal.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to avoid this entire racist crap, just because I don't feel like getting into it too much. But when you use the words like white men, as if they have some sort of inherent privilege over everybody else, you know, I have to look at you and go, you're a racist bigot, aren't you? Because for whatever reason you don't like men, and you especially don't like white men. It's no different than if I said something, you know, about black men or black women. You know, that's when you throw race into the mix, that itself gets kind of on the racist side. But as for having privilege, I don't have any privilege. You can sit here, and I don't really give two fucks. Not a single one. About you telling me how privileged I am because my skin is white. Because I'm going to ask you, where the hell is it? Where the fuck is it? Because I would love to have that white privilege check. You know, the one that I don't fucking get, along with the patriarchy check that I don't fucking get every single week. I got no privilege. I am poor. I work fucking hard. Just as anybody else. You know what gives somebody privilege? Money. Money gives you privilege. There is a privilege power dynamic when it comes to money involved. Do I even have to go into the whole Hillary email crap? From personal experience, from what I know, even if there was one iota of confidential or secret that had gone through that server, she would be jailed. Indefinitely. You know why I know that? Because the same damn thing would have happened to me when I served my time and was dealing with my stuff. I can't go into any real details about it, but yes, from personal experience, she'd be jailed. I'd be jailed if it was me. But you know what she has that I don't? Money. Money and influence. Because she's got enough money to throw around, she can avoid that jail time. And that is where your privilege is. It's the people with money versus the people with no money. You have money, you can get away from just about anything. You have no money? Well, here's your weekend in the slammer. Just look at drug charges and other things of rich people versus non-rich people. People who are in Hollywood versus the normies out there who have no money, who have no influence, who have no privilege. It doesn't matter if they're man or woman, black or white. What matters is that cash that they have.
Why do you hate black people? African Americans.
They're dirty, they're stingy, and they're just gross.
Xbox Live and PlayStation Network both allow players to chat live while gaming. They have become havens for hate speech against women and minorities.
What I had noticed and witnessed was what I call like linguistic profiling, like just based on how somebody sounds, you know, they kind of lash out in like very like inappropriate ways.
Who votes for mission? They allow girls to play Call of Duty in America?
Wow, they allow morons to play Call of Duty in America?
Oh, I love this. We get into the soundbite war. That first guy was probably a racist. I'm not even going to sit there and try and argue that he wasn't. I mean, when you got one person asking, why don't you like blacks? And he's sitting there going through this list, it sounds like it was just a candid conversation between two people. And you know what? Racists exist. They really do. You can cherry pick racists all day long. I could cherry pick racist all day long. I could cherry pick non-racist. You could cherry pick non-racist too, you know. It doesn't matter. I can go and pick out the good people, and you can present to me all the bad people of a particular race or something, but to sit there and demonize everybody because of that, that's a completely different thing. And there's more nuance that goes on to with all that, but that last person, you know, the one, I'm surprised they let girls play Call of Duty in America. I'm surprised they let morons play, you know, that kind of crap. That is banter. That is a shit talking. It's kind of like shit posting. That is something that you tend to hear a lot of, which is where people get the argument that games are racist, misogynistic, or whatnot, because people are listening for things. And if they can throw off your game by throwing, you know, a particular word that might get under your skin, so if they listen, you sound like you're black, they may throw out the N-word. They just might just spit it on out there. I'm like, oh, you fucking, you know, N-word and stuff like that. You know, they find out you're a woman, you sound like a woman, they're gonna go on, they're gonna lay into you for being a woman playing the game. Like, that guy. It's called shit talking. It's an actual tactic when you're facing people to shit talk them, to throw them off their game. I mean, seriously, I've played games for my entire damn life. I've played a lot of multiplayer games. I am no stranger to shit talkers. You know, you got that 12-year-old sitting there, and their best comeback is, I'm fucking your mother. They're 12, you know, you gotta give them time to mature and figure out some better comebacks. But, you know, that's why they do it. They're trying to get under your skin. It's not because they're inherently sexist, they're misogynistic, they're racist, or anything like that. It's because they're trying to get under your skin to get you off your game. You may be doing really well on the leaderboard right that second. You're in the lead. But the right combination of the right words that crawl under your skin could throw your focus off. It's a legitimate thing. Your focus gets thrown off, you suddenly start to tank. You get spotted, you get shot, you start going down. You start losing. Because your focus went off. It's a good thing somebody invented the mute button. Like, no kidding, that's what I always did. If I wasn't in a direct party with people on a separate thing, like TeamSpeak or Vent, or, you know, making our own party on Xbox Live or something, and, you know, that's all I could hear, I would have everybody else muted in the group. You know, if it was a team-based game, or even if it wasn't, I would just have everything else muted, because I don't need to sit there and listen to their sass. Mainly because I don't feel like letting them throw me off my game. Because I'm smart like that. Some people, not so much.
Not everyone in the gaming community is sexist or racist. We are having this sort of internal cultural problem with sexist and racist gamers.
You know, if you would have led with that, there probably wouldn't be a need for the rest of this entire video. But, anyway, I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be a video about gamers and the alt-right in Discord. And then we got into Gamergate? And then cherry-picking a few things and claiming that that's all sexist and harassment and all this other stuff, and therefore alt-right, I assume, will be the conclusion to that. But, why in the world did we segue into Gamergate? I'm still scratching my head. This video is only 3 or so minutes long, which, you know, if with a video that short, I guarantee they probably don't have many decent arguments to go with it, and they were just trying to pad it out.
So, what happens when these behaviors move from the gaming world to the real world? Keegan Hanks studies the progression of the alt-right on the web.
Discord, as a platform, kind of had a meteoric rise in the alt-right. I think many of the members of the alt-right were actually aware of it because they were also members of the video game community. Many of them are. Discord became almost a requirement for a lot of these people if you wanted to be actively involved in the movement.
Now we get into the meat and potatoes of this. Discord. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, gamers are everywhere. Anything that they classify as a gamer, it's just about anything nowadays. I don't classify real gamers as, somebody playing Candy Crush a little bit. But everybody else in there, when they talk about it, especially in the journalist world, they refer to gamers as anybody who's played a game. And you know what? I bet a lot of these people on the alt-right do play games. They probably play a lot of things like Call of Duty. Just saying. I mean, heck, there are people out there who just buy a system and buy the new Madden every year, and that's all they ever play all year long. But, if whether or not they're actual gamers is, always left to be, it's debatable. But, yes, a lot of people use Discord, not just gaming. A lot of YouTubers have Discord, chat rooms and stuff like that as well. So somehow I don't think it was just because gaming or they play games they knew about Discord. It was honestly just an upgrade from things like TeamSpeech and Vent that led to Discord becoming the new thing, because it's kind of like those but better. And it's so much easier to create your own chat rooms and stuff, and whether or not it's anonymous, who really cares? People like to have their anonymity, words I can't say. They like to be anonymous online. That's how come they can say vile things without anybody really coming back after them. But anyway.
Discord is anonymous and lightly monitored, which allowed the alt-right to control communications and access for thousands of users. Some Discord servers controlled by alt-right leaders made users post pictures of their Caucasian skin in order to participate.
Yeah, I'm going to go on a limb and say they only had the Charleston protest thingy, because that's what we get a lot of footage from, and that's what they keep talking about. And if I remember correctly, the number was close to about 2,000, not thousands. Of course, then I guess when you say thousands, that means 2,000, but when you say thousands, most people think a lot more than just 2,000. Just saying. Anyway, but yeah, it was anonymous. About 2,000 people showed up. Bad things happened. Somebody ran over somebody. It was despicable. But, yeah, a lot of us people, unless we're part of that group, also condemn these people for what they did. We don't want them around us. Just saying, unlike other groups out there who rallied around things like Antifa, when Antifa was starting up stuff and burning things and destroying things, and they were being praised as some kind of revolutionaries or whatnot, and then finally they've been classified as a domestic terrorist group, and then suddenly all the publications that were praising them turned around and was like, oh, yeah, they're bad. They were totally bad. Only after they were deemed a domestic terrorist group. At least we condemn bad when we see it. Just saying. And as for the posting white skin thing, that has got to be the most hilarious thing ever. And I really want to know if that's real or not. To be honest, without any proof of that, I'm going to go ahead and say they're making that bit up. It's either hearsay that they're making it up from somewhere, somehow. Because it would be so easy to use Facebook and Google and stuff to post your, quote, white skin, end quote, and not be white. So easy. Not that hard. You can go pick a picture of somebody you know on Facebook, zoom into it real quick, crop it of your hand or something, and say, yep, I got white skin. Meanwhile, you don't have white skin. You've got brown or black or whatever. But to be honest, I feel that is a complete joke and overreaction to something else that might have happened, or maybe somebody jokingly said it. not being serious, and then somebody took it as serious because these people take everything as serious as possible, regardless of whether or not it was a joke. But let's keep on.
This allowed the alt-right to centralize its message and disseminate information around the Charlottesville rallies. Discord service played a substantial role in fomenting the riots that led to the death of Heather Heyer.
Yes, and that was unfortunate. And we condemned it. So how does any of this link gamers as giving rise to the alt-right? But yes, they did use Discord apparently. It gets an app on your phone, making it really easy to, use. But at the same time, organizing a protest isn't illegal. Just saying. Now, what happened with that one person who killed that other person, that was illegal. But the organization of a protest, on the other hand, not so much. Just as much as I will sit there and fight for the right for you to have your protest, as much as I hate them, and as much as I think that they're a pain in my tail, if they happen around me and it closes down a particular road that I'm stuck on now because of it, like had happened in the past with BLM and other stuff, you still have your right to do it. Although I would, question your right of standing in the middle of a freeway, but you have the right to protest. Sorry, but that's the truth. And regardless of whether they're actual neo-Nazis or alt-right or BLM or Antifa or whoever, as long as they're peacefully protesting, they're totally fine. They can march down the street chanting "Fry 'em like bacon" all day long. Although I'm gonna look at them and be like, you're really, really bad people. But, that's still your right to go ahead and act like an ass. Just like the alt-right. They want to go out there and chant stupid stuff like white is right or whatever the heck it is that they might chant. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what they would chant. But, that's them. They can be racist bigots too, just like you can. And they have their right to be so. And they have their right to go and march and protest and chant as well. As long as they're not in my way of not in the way of my rig, they can go ahead and protest all they want.
After facing pressure, Discord shut down the servers used to organize in Charlottesville. The company stated, "We will continue to take action against white supremacy, Nazi ideology, and all forms of hate."
Yes, they did. They got rid of them. And you know what? To be honest, that's kind of a shame. Kind of stifles their ability to speak freely. But, like I was saying a second ago about your right to protest and everything, they also have their right to freedom of speech, but at the same time, the company can ban speech they don't like, I guess, if they really, really want to. And I think it's despicable. But one man did something bad. And somebody lost their life because of it. He's gonna get punished. He did get punished. Did he get punished? Pretty sure he got punished. Anyway. But, yeah. That guy's gonna have to deal with crap. Because that was his decision. It wasn't the decision of the whole.
Perhaps not surprisingly, James Alex Fields Jr., the white supremacist charged for Heyer's death, was no stranger to video games. In 2010, his mother filed a complaint against him, claiming he struck her in the head and locked her in the bathroom because she told him to stop playing video games.
Wow. That's really extreme. You get told to stop playing a game, bash your mother's head in, and lock her in a room? Like, really? Sounds like to me somebody might have a bit of a mental issue there, if that's their reaction. I mean, heck, I've been told to stop playing games, as much as it might suck if I'm in the middle of something. I save it and I go on, or I unfortunately die 1,000 times because I've gone AFK during a multiplayer game because I had no other choice. But, yeah, that honestly sounds like that's an issue with mental disorder of some kind. But again, how does that have to do with anything? You got a guy who's got a history of violence, and because he played a lot of games, gamers gave rise to the alt-right? Or is it that gamers use Discord? So gamers gave rise to the alt-right because the alt-right used Discord. Because some of them played games, or several of them played games, and they knew about Discord. You know, just about most channels out there and other places use Discord to communicate with their community anyway. Or is it Gamergate gave rise to the alt-right through the use of memes, because they both used memes in the Great Meme War of 2016. And it gave right to the alt-right, and somebody killed somebody, therefore Gamergate and gamers are bad, because Gamergate was filled with gamers looking for the ethics of gaming journalism under the guise of, according to the media, under the guise of wanting to destroy women in gaming and kick them out, when in reality it was all about gaming journalism. I'm totally unsure now that I've watched this entire thing of what actually is being addressed here, because it seems like a really bad hit piece with really bad information, and somebody had gone to a wiki or something that has been not that misinforms you. It's a bad wiki on how things are to fill time. Anyway, let's continue. Never mind on the continuing part. Apparently that was it. That was the whole thing. Whew. That was a long one. No, it really wasn't. I just think I had a lot to say on it. But, anyway. Yeah. NBC's hit piece on gamers. If you're a gamer, you gave rise to the alt-right. Or if you're a gamer, you are the alt-right. Or if you were involved in pro-Gamergate, you're the alt-right. You're a Trump supporter. You're a neo-Nazi. Something like that? I mean, there was something we were supposed to take out of this, but I really don't remember what the heck it was again. It was connecting the dots between Discord and gaming, and because these people used Discord. Yeah. What do you think? Are gamers alt-right? Just because they game? Let me know down in the comments below. Until then, see ya. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.